HGC Finals, it is Luna MEOW versus Tempo Storm.
And in the blue, it is Luna MEOW, where we have Rainer played by Bowie 005. Virgil gonna be on his Dahaka, one of his best characters, somebody to be looking out throughout the rest of this game. Kim gonna be on the front line there on Diablo. Next up is Immortal there on the Junkrat. And last but not least, supporting the squad here, I believe we're going to have not coming up there. Apparently I'm a baked cheese there on Whitemane.
Yeah, there he is on the other side. This is the hometown right here. Basically just a short trip for these guys. June, he'll be on the Malfurion. Vin will be trying to carry this team on that Jaina. Caterpillar, he's been on this Arthas a lot in North America. Fan, back on MEOW for the first time in a long time. And Glaurung, he'll be in that solo lane. He'll be on the Malthael.
Something to already note here, Virgil in the offlane not willing to commit to the four-man skirmish here, actually going for the offlane pressure starting on the first wave. We'll see if Tempo Storm tries to compensate in some way, shape, and or form here. The MEOW composition, generally speaking, running a very high power and high impact 1-4, which is already what we see coming to light here with Tempo, finding a couple stacks there for Fan.
The MEOW factor, Dreadnought, in every game, it's, oh, that's a very early brushstock by Virgil. It's something that you look at now, it's not that condemning when the first towers kick off, the first altars kick off. It's 3 minutes in, but we normally see kind of the play around the camps at 1 minute in. So now Dahaka has to make up for that. Look at Malthael on that mini-map, Dreadnought. That's Malthael making the rotation down, and now they can feign the invade. They actually have the invade here. Kim gets a little bit of damage in. Now they get the portal in. Cattle trying to survive. Kim somehow surviving. Whitemane heals. No first blood yet, but this is now, Glaurung is here. Dahaka no longer has the brushstock.
Yeah, that's a great point that you bring up here. That earlier brushstock is part of the reason that Tempo Storm is able to get as aggressive as they are right now over that. That is going to be sappers acquired now here for Tempo Storm, but it looks like Luna MEOW is going to have the tools to be able to get at least a pretty reasonable clear there. But in the downtime, Tempo will be able to back out, pick up some sappers for themselves here. And so as this game kind of progresses forward, beyond Virgil and the Dahaka and those brushstocks, which has already been a, impact in both directions here of the game, but then also I want to highlight Immortal. His positioning is something that I'm very concerned with in this game, knowing that Tempo has the MEOW portals, have the ability to kind of close the gap and force a fight that maybe Luna MEOW is not better prepped for.
We'll see the play around that. It's the North American style on a pale horse. We saw that rotation down. See if we'll get another rotation, but Immortal comes in, gets the poke over the wall, does have that level 4, but he hadn't locked in that talent yet, so maybe missed a few stacks, but Glaurung will try and escort in. Virgil will just kind of have to deal with it, and we'll see if we get the rotation down again. As there's the contention over this sapper camp, getting pulled over is Cattle.
But Fan's going to be there in a second here with the MEOW shield. The Bowie out too far there, already enough damage. Now Fan there with the portal trying to track down Baked Cheese, still looking for some of those stacks. If the Howling Blast is going to land, I don't know if he'll be able to make it out. It does end up connecting, but look at that. Kim with that overpower saves the day, but it comes at a cost, J-How.
That's a cost of his life, and picking up the pace early here is Tempo Storm with those first 2 kills, and it couldn't have come at a better time. We are 10 seconds away from that first altar phase. Full level lead, some control so far. See how Tempo Storm, if they can keep that foot on the gas here early. Luna MEOW, though, does have the tools as this game goes on to start to come back.
For now, top is going to be a dead even trade as June getting a big advantage thanks to that kill on the bottom half there. That's 8 shots acquired for Tempo, 4 for that of Luna MEOW. And it's back to the sapper game here for these teams.
Well, the control here for Tempo Storm early. They'll finally get their sapper camp in after the back and forth on that camp. We'll see the rotation over as the root goes in. Cattle just continuing to be a thorn in the side of Luna MEOW.
Surprising to see the 1-3-1 kind of approach here for Luna MEOW, though they have been a team that is very comfortable moving into the double globals like they have in the past. It just feels like that playstyle, especially with the Junkrat and the offlane, until it hits the 13 mark, it really just doesn't pack the same macro punch that I think Luna MEOW is looking for. And they're very much known for macro, especially within their region here. Kim coming down, looking for maybe a gank opportunity, but again, thwarted with the transitions here of Tempo.
Well, the skirmish here, 7 picked up by Tempo Storm. You can see the back and forth. The lanes starting to open up a little bit in favor of Tempo Storm. The camp available again at that bottom left. It becomes a little bit trickier as Diablo starts to get more and more stacked up, as there's more and more things that come into play here. The Diablo's scary, the Junkrat concussion mine scary. Just a matter of, is Tempo willing to commit to these things?
We'll find out with the 30-second window here over the next altar. The brush stock should be available this time, but with the level advantage that Tempo Storm has, it does come into a situation to where if they bait that brush stalker again and then just delay a little bit longer, which MEOW is very, very good at, along with the Malfurion, you get a lot more experience advantage here. So we'll see what Tempo Storm ends up doing, as we have had Glau make the transition down there on the Malpale. His Pale Horse has been seen by Kim there, able to dodge the root coming out by June, but positional advantage here over this altar heavily in favor of Tempo.
We'll see Tahaka starting to come in. There's the flip over. See if Virgil can get onto there. The force already used, but that's going to be Cattle walking away from that. But they are now starting to re-aggress here. Short portal might be all it takes to get onto that. You know, an interesting pickup here. Sustaining rounds for Raynor at level 4, making sure to heal himself up off his own pepper. It's an interesting pickup. It's something we haven't seen basically in any other region, but we have seen some minor nerfs towards some of the other talents, or at least one in particular. You'll see as Fan hovers over, there's the portal in. They're coming in for the fight, and that's why Junkrat's picked up the concussion mine, will kick things off.
Kim seems to be the focus here for Tempo Storm, as he has no way out of there. It's overpowered to try and get Cattle away, but the Howling Blast coming through, that Frozen Tempest slowing him down, and then the back end, Baked Cheese getting caught out by Fan, finishing off that Master's touch there, as long with picking up the kill. Tempo Storm find a third and really feel like they are starting to run away here with Towers of Doom.
Oh, there's another nice portal. This is where MEOW comes in. That's going to be another kill. They get the Blizzard down the roots. This is full team execution right now by Tempo Storm in the early game. Dreadnought, they have a full level lead. That's about to climb here because this fort should fall momentarily. They do have a sapper camp if they go back to grab that, but they're keeping up with the rotations for now.
Yeah, and it should be noted that Tempo Storm is, though, even if they get this bell tower conversion into the favor, which actually reserving it there at that kind of 1% to be able to save it for later. I was just going to highlight that Luna MEOW with the double global, if you will, or at least the double macro between the Junkrat Tahaka, they can handle with loss of bell towers, and the Raynor has very good siege, whereas Tempo is significantly, you know, kind of set behind if they lose their bell towers here. So though it is a major setback, it is not the end of the world, but by Tempo not capturing that, suddenly that defense mechanism is no longer available, and I'm sure here before this altar finishes, Vince is going to walk up, throw out a nice Ice Lance and say thanks for the bell tower and hopefully an extra shot.
Yeah, he's moving directly forward. He's going to make sure the Blizzard helps confirm it as well, so that goes down. Level 10 picked up by Tempo Storm. Should be a free altar channel here. Cattle on the flank side, seeing if they can make another play happen. Waiting to see MEOW portal there. It's going to go. The slow is on to Kim, trying to survive. The roots go down. Nice cleanse there. The intercession used, and Kim trying to walk away. As we can see, Fan and Ben trying to track it down, unable to get the kill, but they get another 5 shots as they take a 36-23 core lead.
And until heroics are picked up here for Luna MEOW, it is just a very grim picture going to be painted, and not much that they can do about it here. Mechanical outclass is irrelevant at this point in time, purely just based on the situation with their composition, and even more so when considering the macro circumstances here. There are the heroics. We'll see if we see any major deviation. We do get an APOC, not, you know, the wildest of adjustments, but it is a little bit different considering that for the most part, Lightning Breath is the go-to here around the world. So we'll see what they can do with the counter initiation to the ley line sealed there out of Fan.
Well, there's another root that's going to land, and Kim trying to make space. That does happen. We do see Caterpillar going into that trait build at level 1, has completed that, so the mana reduction. It is, however, Dreadnought, one of my favorites. It's an infinite stacking talent in terms of damage. It's not normally why you're trying to pick that, but it allows you to sustain in fights much longer when you get that mana reduction on that to survive and just keep all of your abilities going. And when you pair the Malf in there, if you get that innervate, that's even better for you.
Now questions that we got to be asking in this bottom lane is, do we ever get a brush stock kind of initiation to get a drag kill and suddenly, excuse me there, get Luna MEOW back in control of this bottom half of the battleground? With the 30-second window now on the altars, that's no longer an opportunity. It's going to have to be around these altars, which bottom now is just near inaccessible by Luna MEOW because of that bell tower. So this is a tough moment here for them.
It puts them in a choke point because that top right of your screen right now is where they're going to have to path through. It's way too late to go up and around. So let's see if they just kind of bully their way in. You can see the pings coming in, the portal feigning over, and they're willing to commit to this choke point. That's where Arthas comes in. See if they go the portal down. They're trying to get on the backside. Instead, they go in, Dread.
They'll go in and look for Baked Cheese as he drops the Aegis. Kim able to hit the APOC, stopping Cattle for just half a second there as the Riptire comes out. Focus is going to be there, but the Force of Will flip over. Not going to matter. Kim is out of here. Down a man, down 5 shots now. 1 altar remains as Glorong taking that Pale Horse back to bottom, pick up 5 more. And after it's all said and done, J-How, 2-level lead and only 11 shots remain on the core there of Luna MEOW.
It's a really promising sign to start your day like this if you're Tempo Storm. Mind you, it's a 2-game set. There's still a lot of games still in this to be played. But for Tempo Storm to have this type, Dreadnought, they still have to, they get Luna MEOW for now, they get Gen G later. So they need to come out and be like, hey, look, we are as good as we think that we are. They've come out, they're very well prepared. There's probably a lot more tricks up their sleeves, but for now, this is a very good start, not only to this game, but to the day for Tempo Storm.
And I think that's the kind of, the trick up the sleeve is the biggest thing to keep in mind there, is that with all the rumors and, of what we've seen of the North America as of late, it puts it in a position here as Bowie almost caught out a little bit too far there. Nice cleanse is going to be able to help him survive this as the Sappers do end up coming in. But it's just Tempo hasn't really displayed that much with this composition. It's very generic, not that surprising in any way, shape, or form. And so maybe better their odds is that is huge Howling Blast. A lot of damage coming out from Fan as he drops the ley line. Bowie 005 not going to keep himself up. His Fan is just making those arcane riffs nail all the members of Luna MEOW.
I mean, cool down, cool down, cool down, cool down. You know what? I see, Jaina, I see you over there with those icy veins, but if I hit all mine, check out what I can do. So Fan making some things happen there for Luna MEOW Dreadnought. We saw just before that, we did see Diablo finish his Souls talent, so he is tankier, can survive in these moments, but they desperately need 13 going into this.
J-Ho.
They have the global. It's triple altar phase though, Dread.
Yeah, it's triple altar phase, and more importantly, one of those altars is near, again, still unavailable for Luna MEOW, and I'm talking about that bottom altar, meaning this double top left and top right altar is a near must for Luna MEOW. They're lucky in the fact that Sappers are not going to be available, but Kim maybe got to get caught out there. The APOC already dropped. He's trying to buy time, but J-Ho, the last right's going down. The biggest thing is that the altars aren't even up yet. Tempo can get this kill and make the rotation. 4 versus 5, how can they hold off? They're trying. Virgil with that cap. Cattle trying to get the interrupt. Will he get it? Yes, he will.
Oh, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Actually, it was like the last second, but Virgil, he's going to pay for that with his life. That does buy them the lifeline of staying alive. They're down to 1 core health. The thing that scares me, though, is that the boss is available. They have such a massive lead, 30-1. They did get the bottom one. It looks like they're going to turn their attention to the boss. They'll be 16 momentarily. Actually, they're like, wait, what if we just get another kill to make this easier?
Yeah, and I think even beyond the 16, beyond the boss, the biggest thing to look at is when it comes to the boss control. It said this was a dead even fight. The ley line seal is a great tool there. Hold on, though. Fan is going to be focused out here. Gets a nice force of will as we see the Vin kind of flanking on the backside. Glong trying to move forward as they already get the kill there onto Kim. Riptire is the focus. Baked Cheese unable to escape as he eats all the damage there out of the Blizzard. 3 members now with Dahaka spawning. Only 2 of Luna MEOW off the board, and Tempo look to close out this game.
Yeah, Concussion Mine, a Miracle Concussion Mine with a Brush Stalker in might be, the miracle play if you can get it. There's a lot of damage coming out, though. With that armor reduction from Dahaka at 13, it doesn't matter. Dahaka's now dead. And this should be enough for Tempo Storm to close out game number 1.
Bowie doing his best there, getting a bit of damage coming through. Immortal has a Concussion Mine, and that's the only tool available. Concussion Mine offline, APOC through, but it doesn't matter. Tempo Storm finds a way to shut out Luna MEOW here in game 1, 12-0, and take game 1, setting the tone here for HGC Finals, at least for NA. It's looking pretty good so far.
It's a good start. This was the Tempo Storm Battleground. We'll see if Luna MEOW in this 2-game set. Every point matters, and if you get a 2-0 in these series, it's worth 3 points. If you get that 1-1, it's where you want to be. If you're thinking, hey, we're not the Gen G, we need to climb. Just getting 1 game off some of these teams can be crucial towards the later part of the stage grid.
Yeah, it is very important, and as you said, every single game is going to matter here. But you know what? That is enough of our thoughts here on that last game, J-Hal. We're going to send it over to the panel and see what they had to say.
Well, as it happens, when you draft the old school combo of Jaina and Arthas, it turns out it's a good old-fashioned snowball because, man, that got out of Luna MEOW's hands fast.
I would say it was an avalanche.
Yeah, that is very fair. It was, it just got out of their control so quickly. You can start with things like the early Dahaka stock, but where do you feel like things really turned around?
I mean, it's pretty much what we said in the draft. You have a Medivh that enables you
Yeah.
to simply portal onto Reyna, and then you have an Arthas that walks him down, a Jaina for the burst damage. How do you get away from this? Then you can play around Malthael as well. They didn't even really have to. So at that point, your backline is just dying, and they never even were able to threaten Tempo Storm in any way. So that doesn't really bode well for the Taiwanese team here.
Yeah, Skimmy, that Medivh made so many good things happen for the Arthas specifically in that.
I mean, it's a big reason why, Luna MEOW have always banned away this hero. It's a hero that can be so frustrating, so oppressive to go up against. And as I mentioned, it was really targeted towards their hero pool. They did their research, as you mentioned as well. The Malthael was there as the hyper carry for the solo lane, never needed to be used. And typically speaking, you got the Blaze for a bunker to try and disrupt that, or the Ardent Defender to try and negate it. like I say, it was just there to, you know, mirror the soaking potential of the Dahaka. So it was a brutal affair. We mentioned it in the draft that they had everything they wanted. They didn't show anything special. They just executed better.
What do you think that Luna MEOW were trying to get done with the Apocalypse? Granted, by the point that Luna MEOW hit heroic abilities, it was already so far gone. But where do you think they were trying to do that, since we see a lot more Lightning Breath now?
I mean, I feel like you try to really just play around the CC train and try and get the target down, allow Reina to dish out a lot of the damage. But as you said, they were already so far behind. It just felt like from the beginning of the game, once that Medivh started to just like portal in Arthas over and over again, there was nothing they could do. I mean, Tempo Storm just walked over them. The camp is taken, Arthur starts walking in, Diablo tries to fight for it, and they always ended up losing at least a hero or two. There was just no point where you actually thought, okay, this is a game where Taiwan, where Luna MEOW is starting to contest and like bring it back a little bit. It was only a question at some point, like how many kills is Tempo Storm going to end up with?
Yeah, and I think what you have to highlight, Skimmy, is a really good showing of what Tempo Storm was capable of in that game.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to actually have a look at the 9-minute mark here, where it's a 2-level lead for the side of Tempo Storm. We're going to play this one just to start off with. So you're looking at Fan just anchoring from this side right over here. So he's just hanging around. They've already got the warning ping to the side because they're concerned, you know, is there going to be a rotation? Is the Brushstalker going to come across? It's not in this fact. You're seeing with Malfail actually on the rotation on the mini-map here concerned, maybe I need to come in because of that warning ping, but it's not going to happen. So we're going to play this clip ahead and we're going to see exactly what happens. So the portal's going to get dropped on down right there. Instantly, they all pile on in right on this spot right here. And we mentioned that Junkrat has the concussion mine for the disengage. Fantastic. That's the big point, right? But Raynor isn't going to be as likely. And quite honestly, you know, it's a common rule of thumb that we see in Hero League where people like do not focus the tank, but they do just that. And this is a good reason why, because they have so much damage when they pile across. They try and go for the support initially, but they come across in the end and just absolutely murder Kim there on that Diablo. Destroyed, disintegrated, resources burnt across the board. And just like that, you know, it was the beginning of the end.
Well, a dominant Tempo Storm win over Luna MEOW, over Taiwan's team in Game 1. We'll have to see if they can continue that out in Game 2 after a word from our sponsors.
2018 HGC Finals are brought to you in part by Republic of Gamers, Corsair, T-Mobile, Samsung SSD, and NVIDIA.
Game 2 of Tempo Storm versus Luna MEOW. We'll still be finding out which battleground's going to take place. Any ideas what Luna MEOW might do here?
I peeked. I know.
Can we get this
Shane,
guy
I'm
off
cheating.
here? Already, he is throwing wrenches in my plans. All right, we can look at.
Hey, that is German efficiency, okay? I'm coming in prepared.
Oh, I see how prepared.
There's a stereotype
Cheating.
I have to fulfill.
Luna MEOW is going to take the battleground choice. I feel like we're going to see this a lot in best of 2 formats. If you lose the first one, then pick the battleground. It's what we see quite a lot, I think, in China too, where the best of 2 format is their tournament format. So we're going to go to Infernal Shrines. Immediate thoughts of what we think might be drafted here?
Well, just to quickly sidetrack that 1 second, I mean, this is their most played map for Luna MEOW. They've map picked this 5 times across the season. They've usually had a preference for first picking, but they are going to go for the map pick here. In terms of picks itself, a little bit of a smaller map. Yes, there is a macro element to it, no doubt, absolutely. But this allows them to try and play those fights a little bit more consistently.
I'm ready for the Kerrigan. Can I just say it now? I am
happen.
so ready for our Kerrigan. Surely we get one, right?
What is all?
During the tournament, definitely going to see that, and this is a great map for her for sure. And Tempo Storm again, they can just like, from their perspective, after that first game, they already think, okay, we are definitely stronger on basically any level. If we don't get out-drafted by our opponent, we should be able to close it out with a completely standard draft. So they
Instantly
can really
Medivh
take a couple
ban.
of things in.
The respect. I would not want to deal with that either. That was horrifying.
Lessons were learned, and I mean, they completely exploited the weak hero pools. The Arthas, or sorry, the Abathur comes across as well, which is nice. And as you already mentioned there, Caldor, that was my main concern coming into this series. Yes, it is a best of 2. There's not really much time for you to adjust, but I really wanted to know, how did Tempo Storm view this? I think a lot psychologically would have been told if they'd gone in like, we need to draft a lot of macro, we don't want to force a fight. We are a little bit nervous on day 1. But they came in, they cleaned the perfect game, not a single kill across. So
to be honest, from Tempo Storm's perspective, you want to play the most standard they can possibly get, because every team that looked at the playoffs in North America was seeing those completely wild drafts and that NA meta that came through. And everybody is still guessing, okay, what are they going to play here? Are they going to play these picks on the international stage? Are they going to fall back on a more more standard level of play. So if you don't want to show anything, you want to keep it as clean as you possibly can, try and play something normal, and then you still have those wild drafts that you can show in the groups, in the playoff stage later, where you can just go in and say, okay, now we're hitting you with what we really feel is the best here. You don't have to use that against Taiwan.
Yeah, and I like the Phoenix coming out here very early on. They realized that he got punished quite heavily last game. Diablo, fantastic map for him, just as well as it is on Tales of Doom. Lots of collision spots for him to execute within, and also the innate synergy, the one that screams out to me the most, would have to be the Lightning Breath into the Purification Server. So that level 10 power spike is immense.
Also a denial from the Diablo-Tyrande combo, but we'll point it out, it's not necessarily that you're going to get a traditional tank from North America, and we'll see if we still get it here. I think this is very possibly going to be Fan playing Kerrigan and then glowering back on his Malthael, but either way, Tempo Storm bringing back an old classic, the double melee assassin.
I would absolutely not be surprised to see a tank with this too. I expect in this tournament to see a lot of triple melee being played again. It has been very dominant. I love the earlier pick from Luna MEOW on Phoenix. I mentioned in the last draft that the ban from Tempo Storm against Phoenix was a great one because Luna MEOW is so focused on playing with Phoenix and trying to execute his strength. So the Taiwanese team realizing, hey, we can't get away with picking him late because they will target it as a third ban, picking it really early with a combo with Diablo. But now you go up against that aggressive engage composition that Tempo Storm has, and you have to now figure out on the side of Luna MEOW, how do you live through that CC? A cleanse would be fantastic for them, something where they can just like shut down that engage and then turn the fight around.
This is interesting for me because, you know, traditionally speaking, I would have thought that would have been a Blaze ban because you want to make sure that there's no denial for that, you know, hard-hitting engage, right? You got the Kerrigan engage, the Malthael last rights, the Tyrande with the stun, and the Hunter's Mark, right? The bunker gives you that reset potential, but this just shows the level of confidence that Tempo Storm are coming into the series with. There's the Blaze and there's the Deca Kane. So many slows right now to really accentuate what this Phoenix can do. It's so reliable. Gives them that power spike through 1 to 9 to really allow the Diablo to come online at level 10.
It's definitely going to make it a bit harder for Tempo Storm to execute it properly, and we do not see that tank. They're going into the double support again that they have shown in the playoffs in North America.
It is triple melee still, though.
Typically,
Hey!
Not quite the triple melee we were expecting, but yeah, it's still true. So they are busting that out, and I have to admit I'm a little bit surprised. I really thought that they would go more into a style where they are trying to, you know, lull potential later opponents and say like, okay, we're going to keep you guessing what you really want to play. If that what we've shown in the playoffs in North America is really what we're going to bust out at this event now too. But again, the Uther, the Tyrande, we talked about this earlier, and there's a terrifying amount of CC on that lineup.
A part of me wonders, you know, we've played this already, people have already studied it, people know what we're going to do with it. Maybe it's the case of we just want to try it again, and we want to try it against another opponent and just sort of, you know, get warmed up, and maybe even try and confuse our opponents later on into this group, thinking, hey, they're still stuck in this set way of double support, and melee is the way to go. So a part of me says that it could be I'm just overanalyzing this and overthinking the situation, but another part of me goes like, yeah, maybe they really want to throw people off.
Well, what exactly do Luna MEOW have? They have bunker. How crucial is it that the bunker is perfectly timed then from Virgil against what Tempo Storm has?
Maybe it comes heavily down to first Blaze with the bunker and also Deca Kane, but they need to keep their eye on Kerrigan in particular. Once that engage happens, and especially the additional stuns through Tyrande and Uther come through, you're going to lose your backline again. Especially Jaina is going to be in trouble. So it's just, I don't think it's only the bunker, it's Diablo and Blaze really making sure that they have good position and don't allow a Kerrigan to flank them, because if that happens, it just lights out immediately.
Hopefully Blaze can get something out of his self-unstoppable with new habits then, so that he can make sure he is there. We're going to head back over to the casters for game 2.
It did not take long for North American meta to show itself. Dreadnought, game number 2, tank Uther, support Uther, whatever your flavor is, Dreadnought, North America's here.
Yeah, it is very much so there. It's going to be interesting to see with the Kerrigan coming online, especially with the defensive tools as the panel was talking about with the bunker, how safe we're going to see Luna MEOW be able to be, because in the last game, even without as offensive in your face of a composition that you would expect like we see in this time from Tempo looked very, very dominant. So this is, I feel like, a tough game here, and it's all about can you juke the WE there of Kerrigan.
This feels like Tempo Storm from about February this year when they're like, we're all in. Stukov was the answer then. No Stukov this game. Instead, Luna MEOW, we're going to see if they can bring the damage, as they're going to be on the left here in blue, as it will be Bowie. He's going to be on Phoenix. Virgil will be on Blaze. A lot lies on his shoulders, as well as Kim. He'll be on Diablo. Baked Cheese will be on Deckard, and Immortal will be trying to bring the damage there on Jaina.
Here in the red is Tempo Storm, where we're going to have June still, as always, on the Tyrande, Finn on his Rainer. Next up, we got Caterpillar repping the Uther here. Double support coming, and Fan on the front lines playing the Kerrigan. And as always, Glorong on his legendary Malthael.
For those that didn't follow a lot of HGC North America, we saw a lot of double support. We saw Justin of Team Octalysis, who Cattle credited in their Week 5 interview when they, or excuse me, their playoff interview when they qualified for BlizzCon. They said, look, we scrimmed Octalysis so much, we scrimmed against Justin so much that we started to pick up some of these, and we're starting to see some of that here with that Tank Uther Dreadnought or the Uther on the front line to help empower this melee. So an interesting approach for those of you that aren't as familiar. This is not that different for what we saw towards the later stages of North America.
Combo comes out there onto Rainer, Lunaflare in, and Tempo finds themselves their first blood there. I was just going to highlight the interesting laning, asymmetric laning that we see once again from LunarMeow, going for Virgil into the offlane to get that pressure. Glorong did not lose anything when it came to the transition of that experience there. So LunarMeow, you can see that they're coming in with an early game plan to try and stop this cadence from Tempo Storm. And so far, they have been unable to do so, as we saw Fan finding himself the first combo.
Wow, not able to juke just yet. We're going to see Fan, nice use of that Ravage to jump over to a minion. Out of that route, there's going to be the stun lockdown. That's the interrupt on the Warp. He does not make it out of that one. Very nicely played by Vin to come up with an extra form of CC. They get kill number 2 here, just a minute and half, about a minute and a half in.
Yeah, really good sidestep there from Kim to be able to get the dodge on that combo. You know, we often talk about hitboxes and how impactful they are in Silver, you know, straight lining one-shot skill shots. But when we're looking at Kerrigan, your odds of getting clipped as a Diablo is very, very high. You are a
Phoenix
big boy.
Too.
Yeah.
Phoenix, even when they shorten those crab legs, it's like, yo, Phoenix, you still got that big body there.
Yeah.
And so Fan probably licking his chops there. Nice use, trying to get the combo. Use that double Ravage. You have those. You still get the reset Dreadnought. Now when you kill the minions, that's built in. But now you get those double charges. You can make some of those nifty plays. We saw one of those on Infernal Shrines when they qualified.
Yeah, it's really cool to be able to see here, and I love that new playstyle that exists here with the reworked Kerrigan. Tempo Storm, you can see they're feeling very confident in their composition. We know to be lethal, starting as early as level 1, and they're very much taking advantage of the fact that they have that with this composition. Trying to get the invade there onto the Impalers after picking up their own, already accumulating that 1-level lead here in the pre-10 phase, as we see Tempo willing to back out, look towards their Shamans, as we know the first Immortals phase is just now coming up. You know, it is a little bit inconvenient in the fact that it is middle for Tempo Storm here, but they have so much macro pressure out. LunarMeow is going to be chasing them around for some time.
This first one, in North America, sometimes we've seen teams maybe ignore when there's not as much lethal threat. You're an early Diablo, you don't necessarily have the souls right away. And against this heavy aggression, you have a lot of kill potential from the early game with the Phoenix and the Jaina. It's just a matter of surviving throughout. And when you can survive the initial onslaught, you can turn this around, and they might be trying to turn it around right here. Cattle, he'll get the charge in. Cattle trying to walk away, just dodges the route, being tracked down right now, supplying, but here comes Fan.
Yeah, but June is there as well with all those healing coming out with the auto attacks. Now Virgil seems to be the focus. Lunaflare will end up connecting here. Damage coming through, but Blaze is still ignited here. He is going to be alive as we get Tempo Storm with their transition down. And this small kind of scuttle here in the northern lane has gotten at least that breathing room that LunarMeow wanted over this next shrine. That Shaman camp was a free clear, while Tempo was not getting free skeletal defenders themselves. So this is a good shrine for LunarMeow.
The scary thing is that they have to act quickly because 7 is approaching Malthael. We saw Glorong down there soaking. 7's picked up. Now that 7's here advantage is here. LunarMeow starting to recollect themselves, backing away, but Fan going in, trying to get another combo landed. That's going to be Immortal, the first to fall, and Tempo Storm coming out hot here because Virgil's trying to, he's like, you know what? Fan's like, Virgil, I got my team taking care of business. I'm coming over here for Bowie, unable to get a 3rd kill, but a double there for Tempo Storm.
Great job there as well by Glorong to make sure that he got in position to get that full body block. Even though the Lunar Flare didn't end up connecting, it put it in a position where it just didn't matter. The damage output for Tempo Storm was very much too high. And J-Bow, we've been talking about the threat that this comp has for Tempo, but we haven't been talking about the threat it has with the Punisher, because it is some of the best point-and-click follow-ups to this little guy's leap that we have ever seen. So LunarMeow has to keep track of this 15-second cooldown very clearly. Otherwise, it is just going to be death after death. Kim, the best baiter here, but he has no iframe to get out of it, and there's no wall. This is scary for LunarMeow.
You don't want to give up the fort because there's a lot of experience in this, but defending this is going to be difficult, and there's going to be the combo, the stun following up immediately. Fan instead jumps over. He did go Boundless Fury, so when you hit a hero, you get an extra charge of your Ravage. We already mentioned the double charges, but whenever you hit a hero, you can cycle to another one. You can only do it once every 10 seconds, but it brings that playmaking potential even higher here for Kerrigan as this Immortal 50%. Fort already down.
Really good Sentinel use there. I think it's very important to highlight that we see June throwing out the Sentinel right before he thinks it's going to be a reasonable time for somebody to position themselves and bait that Punisher over the wall. If he reveals Bowie out a little bit too far, that's a Punisher leap and a kill there. Heads up play though from LunaMeow, understanding the situation and being as defensive as they were. But the question is, without Heroics and Tempo closing in on a lead here, are they going to still be passive? And the answer is no. Here's the invade attempt. Fan finds a combo. It's a big one there. Immortal trying to survive, but double kill here for Tempo Storm. About to be, oh baby, a triple. Tempo cleans up shop here and finds a huge lead here in game 2.
I'm jumping over here. JK, I'm jumping over there. And he's like, just everybody come here. It's a dance party. And wow, well, this is a 2-level lead for Tempo Storm Dreadnought. They've come out on fire with these compositions. The aggression's been there. I actually like that call from LunaMeow because if they just wait and sit by, they're going to be down that talent tier going into the next Immortal anyways. So they had to take an early risk. It's not the most condemning thing, but it's not good when you're down 2 levels this early.
I very much agree, and I think that's a very important thing to highlight, is that if LunaMeow doesn't take that fight and that skirmish, that this game, in the long run, would be a far more grim picture than that was. And normally, I think a lot of players, especially before they achieve the international stage, struggle to identify where those marks are. But LunaMeow is a roster here that is experienced, especially, you know, members like Bowie there for the team. Tempo, though, keeping up the siege with their heroic advantage. At this point, the world is theirs, whatever they would like to make happen here. And it looks like at least a keep front wall seemed to be the focus for now, as Glau gets that off-lane soak with the Pale Horse.
Just hanging out in those lanes. Kinetic Fulmination picked up by Kerrigan. Every time she does damage, it empowers the next Impaling Blades, which is why you saw that use. He's like, I've got these stacks, let's use them. But also when you now have Maelstrom Dreadnought just stacking very quickly, getting that, he lands those combos now, stacking that quickly in these. That's why Fury is so good, but it's been nerfed slightly. But you still have that power, that quick damaging power on the combos now post level 10. So it's going to be interesting to watch how more lethal Kerrigan can become.
In the downtime, we see Tempo looking for a double Impaler. It's going to create a split pressure. And J-Ho, this is a moment where I expect Tempo. This is them willing to split up because they know their lead is so big, and now they're going to wait and just kind of shark around. Wait for LunaMeow to be like, which Impaler would you like? Because both of those are very easy for them to go and get a counter kill or get a counter clear. The Impaler, or the Shaman Camp on the upper half, though, is going to be a focal point here for both teams, knowing that we see the objective spawning in 25 seconds on the bottom half. LunaMeow picks up theirs. Tempo will be a little bit late on this, but I would expect if anybody goes for a free clear, Fan, he's going to be looking for a kill.
Well, there's the Sentinel that goes out again. We'll see that of LunaMeow coming in. Kano comes in, drops the hammer, gets the dismount on Diablo, but Tempo Storm, they're so close to 13. They're like, look, this camp, it doesn't mean that much to us. This is a very good lesson to learn in a lot of just regular games too, is that camp really worth dying for right now? If you win, great. If you lose, it's bad. There's a lot of comeback potential in that. But Glaurung
out too far. The APOC, the damage comes through, and LunaMeow pick up their first kill here in this series, and maybe a moment for them to recover here, what felt like a quickly avalanching snowball.
I'd say it's a bit of a misplay, Dreadnought. That camp was just picked up. The invade was there. LunaMeow didn't show where they went just yet. Glaurung felt he needed to go out and clear, thought he might have had the mobility to get out of there. Instead, will get caught out, and that is a perfect opportunity for LunaMeow to fast clear this as much as they can and then try and make something happen. But Tempo Storm starting to move forward, still have that 13th tier advantage, see if they can find somebody out. They get Kim right out of the gate, but now Fan's in trouble.
Fan's in a big, bad spot there, but he gets the Divine Shield. He's leaping around, finding ways to get the Ravage and the Shield. We see this stay a while. Listen, after the bunker, now Glaurung finally joining the rest of the team here for Tempo Storm as he ends up throwing down the curtain, gets the follow-up here. Immortal, the focus, last rites, gets the proc there. Now Kim is going to be the focus for Tempo Storm. They find the 2 kills, unable to get the kill there onto Bowie. But a great moment of recovery here by Tempo.
That was crazy. Fan is just like, look, I got Boundless Fury. I'm not actually trying to kill anybody. He got the Divine Shield. He's like, look, I'm gonna build my shield up. He just hopped around to every single hero he could, got the resets wherever he could, and then all of a sudden he comes out of that. He's like, I got enough shield, past the Divine Shield. I can eat this salvo. and then the entire time the rest of Tempo Storm was doing work.
It's very important to kind of highlight that, is that strategy of risking that 4 versus 5 temporarily is not available without a nuker. He is that, I can buy you that time. The only other hero, maybe a Zeratul, maybe a Medivh, like there's very few exceptions there, and Tempo showing that they know the intricacies here of their composition. Glaurung on the offlane, getting pressure onto Virgil, but it seems like LM may sense that maybe Glaurung's out a bit too far once more. Bowie trying to help out there, but keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there's a Punisher here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, this is very threatening. 1 kill right now could be all she wrote. The minute this keep goes down, the next jump right now, Dreadnought, will be what determines if this game ends right now. They get Kim in their sights. There's going to be the combo. Diablo, he's going to be targeted. Does he have enough souls to come back if he drops? But he stays alive. Here comes the stay a while and listen. Down comes the bunker. Luna MEOW surviving for now. Tempo Storm, see if they go for one more shot, Dread.
Yeah, we'll see if they end up having it there. Also, shout out to Cattle for a beautiful cleanse there onto the APOC combo on the Glau. I was like, that was inevitable end, and the answer is no. He doesn't even have it. Combo now goes on. Last rights is there. Kim is out of here. 10-1 in terms of kills. Tempo losing the Punisher. Will they go to the core? It looks like patience going to be displayed here, and understandably so, Jay-How. Double support Kerrigan is not a composition that I go, scream siege. If anything, the fact that your offlane is a Malthael, you go, wait a minute, that passive doesn't work on core. This is a bad time to siege up. Heads up play here by Tempo.
Ooh, that was a penetrating round that said, we'll see next fight. Trying to confirm that kill over the wall, unable to do so, but 15 versus 12. The minute this tower falls, you'll be looking for the threat towards 16. They have Hyperion if they want to get some sieging done, but the next Shrine Dreadnought in the top, they'll start calculating, trying to figure out their rotations, trying to figure out how they can put pressure in different areas. This is where Tempo Storm, in this stage of the game, Dread, is one of the best that we have in North America.
And we were talking about those windows for Luna MEOW, though, to be able to recover in this game. We identified window 1 at the 8-9 fight. This is another one, Jay-How, the 12-15 before the 16 threshold is achieved by Tempo. They want this. If I am Kim, I'm looking for this initiation. They wanted it for a moment, but now they question, is this the time nor the place? 16 achieved by Tempo. Cattle, he's getting thirsty there as Glaurung goes for the flank. Kim's the focus as Last Right's going to be used. Shadow Charge against the wall along with the bunker. Last Right's not even needed. There is a kill as Kim will be back with souls, but Baked Cheeks now the focus after the Luna Flare. Good night. Tempo finds 2 kills. And that one miracle fight just barely out of grasp.
That play by June right there is going to be enough to help seal the deal. That play on the Immortal, you can see Fan just goes out. That play by June is enough to put the stamp on this game. Is now 3 members down. That's 4 at the total at the end of this. Diablo already back. But that Sentinel that went out there for that slow with that 13, that is beautiful to watch as Tempo Storm will take this series 2-0.
Not as clean as game number 1, but only 1 kill available. Tempo's got to be happy with that. Combo coming in. Last stand here for Luna MEOW as they dive against the core. Try to save it, but Tempo statistically here is just too powerful on Infernal Shrines. And with that, Tempo find a way to pick themselves up 2 wins here and the best of 2 against Luna MEOW.
With all due respect to Luna MEOW, this is a start to the day. Luna MEOW coming in, Tempo Storm, a different style, a different play style, something that maybe the other regions aren't as used to. You can study all you want, but the minute you go against it, it's a different feel, it's a different pace for these teams. Tempo Storm, they'll have another competitor later today by the name of Genji. We'll see if it stacks up then. This is a very good start if you're a North American fan for Tempo Storm.
Yeah, if you